Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, everything on three. Number three. 1 on 1. Oh. 1 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win it. I know the next step from that. Eyes on three. Everything on three. 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast. It's your boy,
all I do is win, 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 no matter what.
Chazz, and of course,
let the countdown till the season begin.
the champ is here.
When does the season start? It's got it's got to be soon. It's got to be soon.
So when kickoff happens, are the Kansas City Chiefs not the champs anymore?
Listen, I'm just saying, for the sake of the fantasy, for the fantasy world, I think the title needs to go up for grabs as soon as the season starts.
By the way, if anybody doesn't know that voice, that is the fantasy football surgeon.
Like a surgeon.
Zags, what's up?
What's up, man? How's it going? How's your week?
Week was good. I got to see some Pantera on Wednesday night, which made me delay the podcast, which in return made Jay not be able to make it today, and then in turn made Adam get sick and not be able to make it today. And we're a two-man show today for the first time in ages.
Lies and propaganda. They both have hot dates. I'm calling it right now. I see you, boys. I see you.
Well, I mean, Jay's married, so probably Adam. Who knows? Adam. I guess Adam lost his voice, and that's good. He talks a lot, right? So.
I see you, Adam. I say, have fun, have fun, buddy.
And we tried to dig into the well. I tried to get the resident fireman John on here, and he was working, fighting fires. And I tried to get Saints Joe on here, but he's not here. So, but we would know his list. It would be Chris Olave 1, Michael Thomas 2, right?
Yeah, Shaheed 3.
Oh my goodness. All right, so there's some news to talk about. Well, we're here for our wide receiver rankings, but we've got some quarterback and running back news. Signing today to the Detroit Lions, Teddy Bridgewater. Does that mean anything to you, Dave?
Means nothing to me. Good on the Lions. Teddy Bridgewater, one of the best backups in the game, I think. I mean, if anything happens there, I feel like he can come in and be serviceable and get him through. If we're looking for like any type of quarterback competition or anything like that, I just don't see it.
No way. I mean, Goff earned his job for this year. Goff, it's also a pretty, fairly reliable late starter for fantasy football. And we can't forget that they drafted Hendon Hooker, who's out basically for the whole year with his ACL. So, I mean, I think Teddy Bridgewater is just bridging the gap.
I see what you did there. I like it.
Another thing we have to talk about, you got in your shorts late after we did our episode, so you had the news. We didn't, that Alvin Kamara is only suspended 3 games.
I mean, I don't want to touch on the legal side. I think we should probably just keep it fantasy related, but I think 3 games is probably the best possible outcome that could have happened for Alvin Kamara.
Shocked me. I was expecting 6, and the more I thought about it, it's like if Deshaun Watson is getting 12 and like men that are hitting women are getting 6, maybe a man that fought a man should get less, right? But like that is what it is. But I don't know where he flies in my rankings, but he's got to be in the top 20, I think, for sure, if not 15. Although, did you see there is rumors that they're ready to trade him?
I did see those rumors. So I'm kind of on the fence on Alvin Kamara. I mean, 3-game suspension. We all know, what Williams did last year. If he recreates it, I don't think he's going to recreate it, but I still think he's going to be. I still think he's going to be a vulture. So like, I'm kind of on the fence on Kamara. I mean, the talent's there, but like we talked about before last season, he didn't finish that great. We got a 3-game suspension. We got trade talks. We got competition for touches in the backfield. I don't know. It's still sticky.
So if he's gone 3 games, we'll put him in this perspective. If he's gone 3 games and it's looking like He might be back in time. He might miss a few games. Javonte Williams. Which one are you taking?
I think I'm gonna go Javonte Williams here, and I think that it just has a lot to do with me kind of playing it safe how I usually do, and I just feel like Javonte Williams has the easier path to being a 3-down back.
See, I don't know if that's playing it safe because you're choosing the running back that's coming back from an ACL tear over a guy who's suspended.
I feel you. I feel you there. And like, not a lot of running backs have come back from an ACL tear and been great, but we're still we're still putting Breece Hall in the top 15. Most people are.
I wasn't.
Well, most people are. And I think when it comes to the ACL tear, you do have to worry about it, but I'm just like super not worried about competition for touches. I mean, where else is Denver going to go?
I mean, they did sign Samaje Perine, but he's more, I think, more like pass catcher. So,
Yeah.
but you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I think where I have them in both of my rankings, that if I slot either one of them in as an RB2, like I'm not going to feel comfortable about it. You know what I mean? But if I have to take a flyer, I think I'm going to go Javonte Williams there.
Well, there was also rumors that the Saints were signing Kareem Hunt, and this was after the Kamara news came out, but they never signed him. But like there was announcements like Saints are signing Kareem Hunt, and then he visited the Colts, and I believe today he visited the Vikings.
Yeah.
So I think he's the most important domino to fall. Kareem Hunt, Zeke and Fournette, just because he's just as old, but he's got less miles than the other guys. And I don't mean the former coach of LSU. I'm on fire today. But he's just got less mileage. He missed a whole year, and then he was a backup basically for the last 3 years. So I think once he's the domino that falls, then you'll get Cook, then you'll get Fournette maybe, and then I still think Zeke's going to end up back with the Cowboys, and all the Tony Pollard simps are going to be heartbroken about that because it will affect that. But I just think once that Kareem Hunt domino falls, then all the other guys fall in line.
I do agree, and I think it has a lot to do with the pass catching ability as well. I mean, Kareem Hunt can catch the ball. He's played that second fiddle role in Cleveland for a super long time. And I'm thinking that there's not a lot of these guys, barring injury, that are going to jump into a situation where they're expected to be the lead horse, dominant RB1. I think a lot of these teams are looking for maybe a 1-2 punch, and I think Kareem Hunt fills that role better than any of them.
Well, Kareem Hunt can be your 1 or your 2, and that's an interesting skill set. And I don't know if Zeke could be your 2. He's a 1, and that's what's weird because I said it, and you weren't here last week, and I know you were somewhat defended Tony Pollard, but I don't think Tony Pollard's going to be as effective without Zeke this year because he doesn't have the battering ram. So that's where that goes for me. Nobody's talking about Leonard Fournette either, and I think he's still got some juice left, though he fell off at the end of the year, but he could be a part of a 2-punch committee. So I'm surprised we have live football going on today, and those guys still aren't signed, and it's just shocking to me.
I also think it's kind of shocking. You would think that these guys would also kind of be feeling the squeeze a little bit and might be a little bit more willing to kind of negotiate for, kind of cheaper deals than maybe they were expecting. But they're still sitting there just waiting to get paid.
Just waiting. And seems like they're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting because it doesn't seem like it's coming. Oh, right. By the way, I didn't crack it open. What are we drinking today? Let everybody know at home, Dave, what I'm drinking here. Can you see?
What is that? Sunny D vodka seltzers? Let's go, bro.
Yeah, let's go.
13-year-old me is just shitting himself right now.
Delicious, bro. It tastes like Sunny D. 95 calories, 0 sugar, and 4.5% alcohol. # not an ad.
Is that legitimate Sunny D, or is somebody using a clever marketing ploy?
I mean, it's definitely what do you call it? I mean, it's the logo. I mean, they have the rights to it.
Let's go.
It tastes like it. So this is something you can only get at liquor stores. It's not, you can't get it at a gas station because it's vodka. So wherever you find High Noons, you'll find these.
Now there's a Sunny D for the kids and a Sunny D for moms.
Yeah, just keep it away from little Timmy, guys. Please. All right, we are here to discuss wide receivers. I'm on record plenty of times that's saying wide receivers are getting way too valued in fantasy football right now. But I'm also loving it because, please, everybody, please draft the 27th ranked wide receiver while I'm picking up the 13th ranked running back and the third ranked tight end. Like, please keep it up. But I think it's wild. I think it's a wild thing, and like maybe I'm a little jaded because I'm doing a lot of best ball drafts, and maybe that's like the cliche thing in best ball drafts right now. But even when we do mock drafts, I mean, they fly off the board. I just think it's crazy.
I also think it's crazy, and I could not be a bigger fan of this as well. I mean, you know me, you've drafted with me for plenty years now. You know, I'm kind of an old school guy. Like, I love to go RB right off the bat, and like if you go RB right off the bat in like today's drafts, you have legitimate RB1 studs as your tandem.
So you and I share 3 leagues, and so our Fantasy Football Bros League, the official one, who won that? Oh, it was me. But what did I draft in the first round? Christian McCaffrey, running back. The other league, the one that I run that you've been in for a while, you and Chad basically tied because of all the bullshit with DeMar Hamlin. And I remember his first round pick was Austin Eckler, a running back, and I'm sure your first round pick was a running back.
Running back. I never go wide receiver.
You had Christian.
Yeah, I had Christian. Yeah.
And then I don't remember who won, your dad?
Yeah, my dad.
Did he draft a running back, or he probably drafted John?
He probably drafted Mahomes.
Yeah, that's probably. He doesn't count. He's an outlier. But at least if you look at those 2 leagues, both. And actually, I was against Chad in the other league too. You were against Chad. I was against Chad.
Yeah.
So all four of the championship teams that were in the championship drafted running backs in the first round. Yeah. So and I know that's last year, and it's not saying that drafting Justin Jefferson's the wrong move, but like maybe drafting like CeeDee Lamb in the first round is the wrong move. Like getting 7 wide receivers in the first round. It's absurd.
Yeah. I do think it's absurd, and I think you got to look at how the league's playing out. I mean, these teams are going more into committees, right? So I mean, your wide receiver set, you're kind of looking at like a 60-40 split in most cases between the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Like, to find a workhorse running back, a guy that handles 80% of the snaps, is like so few and far between that I really feel like you need to grab one of those guys immediately.
Well, you're looking in the second round, and you're getting 2, 3 in the second round ish. You're getting 3 wide receiver 2s on their own team.
Right.
People are drafting AJ Brown or Devontae Smith. They're drafting Chris Olave, who's obviously could be the first, but Michael Thomas still could be the first, and Jalen Waddle.
Right.
So like, it's I don't understand how these number 2 receivers on their own team are getting drafted above like Derrick Henry. It's driving me crazy.
It's literally driving me crazy. And even some of these number 1 wide receivers, like I could be eating all the haters can record this right now and play it back for me at the end of the season if I'm wrong. But like Garrett Wilson with bum ass Aaron Rodgers, you're taking Garrett Wilson over Derrick Henry. Like what planet are you Please invite me to your draft, people.
Yes. Here's my Garrett Wilson drop. Okay, we love that. Yeah, that is, and that's a great point. I'm interested. Well, that's apropos too.
That's for Garrett Wilson's fantasy season too.
That's Aaron Rodgers' arm.
You are on fire today, bro.
I'm interested to see where you actually have Garrett Wilson, because I have him low. So I definitely have some controversy. I have one player pretty low and another player super low and a couple other guys up high. So higher, I wouldn't say high, but higher. And then I'm just interested to see where some of these people fly. So we're gonna go and do it the way we've been, but without all the jabberjaws on our team here. We can we can go in depth a little bit. And obviously, the first we're going to buy, as always, at home. We're going by the CBS Sports consensus rankings, which are from Heath Cummings, Jamie Eisenberg, and Dave Richard, and these were updated today. So, and obviously, all across the board for them, the first two players are 1, Justin Jefferson, and 2, Jamar Chase. Is that how you have it, Dave?
That is how I have it. Yeah.
Not me.
I know you. I know exactly.
Okay.
You flip it, reverse it, put the thing down, flip it.
You got it, Missy. Now, like reasons being is just your pick. You're splitting hairs. It doesn't matter who you end up with out of these two. They're going to be great.
Right.
They're going to be great. And I've said this before, but people are starting to watch the podcast more and stuff because we're getting closer to the season. For me, it comes down to Joe Burrow is so much better than Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
And like that's what it comes down for me. So Justin Jefferson last year, to put things in perspective, had 368 points. Great, fantastic, awesome, way above second place Tyreek Hill. Jamar Chase finished 11th with 242 points, but Jamar Chase missed 5.5 games.
Yes.
So that's a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah.
So
that's a lot.
He if you give him 5.5 games at like say 20 points a game, that's a whole nother 100 points. Now he still doesn't have as much as Jefferson. Okay, he's that. If you give him 100 more points, he's got 343 points. He finishes second. Justin had 368. Sure, but it still comes down to me of that the quarterback and the simple fact that they're rolling into the same offense while they're bringing in Jordan Addison. It seems like their offense is changing a bit, but both teams seem to be moving away from the pass. Again, you're splitting hairs, but for me, I just feel Chase is athletically the better receiver, and I just think overall he's the better receiver. I mean, even if you look at draft capital, they're both first round picks, but Jamar Chase went 5th overall in the draft. Like that's so high, it's ridiculous.
Right.
And that's the year after Justin Jefferson. So like I don't know, I just think Jamar Chase was destined to be the number 1 wide receiver last year, and he got hurt. And I'm not going to play afraid of injuries, and for me he's number 1, but I will be fine with Justin Jefferson as well.
I think you hit the nail right on the head there. I think if you're leaving your draft with either of these two guys, you don't feel bad about it. I'm honestly at like a 55-45 kind of coin flip here. The only reason I give the slight edge to Justin Jefferson is obviously Kirk Cousins' quarterback play not up to standards with Joe Burrow. But another guy that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, T. Higgins. He is in a contract year, so I'm going to look for him to ball out. I think Jefferson has very little competition from the wide receiver 2 slot, as like not nearly as much as Jamar Chase has from T. Higgins, and then also just a very slight advantage for playing half of his games in a dome.
That's a good point with the dome, but you also got to remember, you say he doesn't have anything, but they did just spend first round capital on Jordan Addison.
I do feel you there. I think Jordan Addison's going to be a good player, but again, we're seeing a rookie wide receiver step into a
rookie. Sorry.
No, that was pretty good. I was going to see how that was panning out. I think it's going to take him a little bit to get up to speed. I don't know if he's going to earn the trust of Kirk Cousins right away, as much as T. Higgins does have the trust of Joe Burrow. And I'm giving slight edge there. But again, it's a toss up. If somebody's got first overall pick and they go Jamar Chase, I'm not going to be like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Now, do you think there's any worrisome with something? So now here's what I mean by that. Jamar Chase's lowest game score of the year. Well, I guess technically it was 0 against Buffalo, but obviously that doesn't count. The game got
right.
But his lowest point scored was 11 for the week. But Justin Jefferson had a 4-point game, a 6-point game, a 2-point game, and a 7-point game. So he's had a lot of lows, but his highs are crazy.
Yeah.
So like that does worry me a little bit because he showed that. I mean, again, not worry to put him at 9, but like he has shown some stinkers, and it seems like Jamar Chase is actually a little more consistent, which is weird because I felt he would be more of the dynamic guy up and down. So like I'm a little concerned with that, and I don't know. Does that bother you at all?
Those stats off the top of my head just kind of actually are confusing to me because when I really think about it, I do feel like Jamar Chase would be more of the boomer bust guy. So that honestly seems kind of weird to me that he's more consistent than Jefferson.
He is. I can run through him quick. Jamar Chase's points last year: 29, 11, 12, 12, 12. And I was pissed at him then, but then he started going 32, 33, hurt, bye, hurt, 17, 29, 19, 14, 0, 22. But Jefferson was 39, 11, 4, 31, 30, 16, 16, 25, 35, 6, 29, 18, 33, 30, 31, tearing it up. Fantasy football championship week, 2 points. And then week 8 points. So
that championship 2 points has got to leave a lot of stink in somebody's mouth. I'll tell you that.
That's for sure. And then of course, Jamar Chase championship week though got 0.
Yeah. I mean, you're making very, very good points here. And I don't know if I want to flip my rankings and like let the people know that you got to me, but I feel like maybe you got to me.
Hey, I'm here. I'm here for the people. That's all. I'm definitely here for the people. So their third ranked receiver is Tyreek Hill. But I'm gonna skip him for a second. I want to go to their fourth ranked one, Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
And that's also my fourth, or he's my third. I meant he's my third. Where do you have Kupp?
This is where it gets sticky. Number 8.
Oh, geez, that is insane. Okay, so and this is why I want to bring up Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
First of all, Saints Joe surprisingly texted me to tell me that Kupp is his number 1.
His number 1.
Yep. And
Okay.
I don't think that's absurd. Kupp last year was, no doubt about it, the number 1 receiver. Like, nobody was taking Jefferson over Kupp. Nobody. He averaged actually the most points per game in fantasy football receivers last year. Hang on, I believe. Yep. The number 1 fantasy points per game last year was 22.4, Cooper Kupp. Number 2 was Justin Jefferson at 21.7. And obviously he tore his ACL. Cooper Kupp's games last year, folks, let me fill you in. 32, 32, 17, 26, 26, 16, 23, 27, and then he got hurt. Very consistent. Am I wrong?
All the talent in the world.
But here's the thing. Justin Jefferson last year scored 368 points, and everybody's simping over him that he's the number 1 receiver. Great. Do you know how many points Cooper Kupp scored the year before?
It's 414 or something.
440.
440.
439.5.
Yeah. I knew it was insane.
That is absolutely insane.
Absolutely insane. All the talent in the world. The talent is not why I have him where he is.
Which is what, 8 again?
I have him at 8, and I do want to, before we really dive into this conversation, I want it to be known that I have him tentatively at 8 at this moment. Like if I was drafting today, Cooper Kupp would be at 8. But moving closer to the season and seeing how things play out, he's most likely going to move up my rankings as long as things play out the way that he wants them to play out.
Okay. I mean, it's just that's tough for me to buy into unless you're concerned about injury. He's got the same quarterback. He's got you want to talk about less competition for targets? Who's his number 2?
No, Van Jefferson.
Ben Skoranek?
I think, yeah. So I think the reason here, obviously, all the talent in the world, but it's injury concern. And I think we go into this saying it all the time. You can't draft with injury concern in mind, but in this case, he is currently injured and coming back from an injury. True. So I think there's 2 things playing here, and like we don't know exactly what he's going to look like coming back from the injury last year. He tweaked his hamstring in practice, which for a wide receiver, hamstring, look at Keenan Allen, hamstring injuries are nagging and recurring, and they're a pain in the ass to deal with for fantasy owners to know whether your guy is going to go or not. And I don't know. I don't want to take him that early, just and dealing with that nonsense of like, is he going to be ready? Is he going to be ready week 1? Okay, he's not ready week 1. Is he going to be ready week 2? Like, oh, week 4, did he tweak it again? And now he's going to be out for 2 games. Like, I need to know that he's 100% Cooper Kupp, and then I'll move him up on my list. But for right now, I'm gonna take some guys ahead of him that are healthy.
All right. I mean, that's wild to have him down there, but I mean, I have him at 3. He's consensus number 4 here on CBS, and I know Saints Joe had him at number 1. So and if anyone's, I mean, between you and Joe, I mean, I like him where I have him. I would feel more comfortable taking him 1 than 8, but I mean, I get it. I mean, the injury concerns are a thing. So at number 3, though, they have Tyreek Hill. Breakout last year away from Patrick Mahomes, came through, but also his other dog, Jalen Waddle, is a top like 15 receiver-ish. And so for me, and he's attached to Tua. And a lot of people were scared of Tyreek Hill last year because they're like, Tua doesn't have a big arm. Well, here you go, folks. Here's a tip for you. You don't need a huge arm when your 2 receivers are the fastest fucking people on earth. You only need to throw it about 14-yard slants, and they're going to take it.
Maybe 14 yards, maybe a 2-yard slant to the house for 98.
And like Tua gets a bad rap. He's a lot better than people give him credit for. But there's injury concerns with him. And when the backups were in, Tyreek was still okay. Jalen Waddle was a little more mess. So I actually have Tyreek a little lower here than the consensus. I probably have him the lowest, at least of these professionals. And I wonder where you have him. I have him at 5.
I have him at 4. So I mean, we're right in the same spot.
Yeah. So like, it's just like, it's Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's great. He's fast. He's gonna get touchdowns. I mean, what surprised me last year was his receptions. He had a ton of receptions, and that surprised me because Miami threw the ball way more than we expected.
Way more than we expected. And I think that reception total has a lot to like what, the game plan is, and like a lot of what we talked about. They're the fastest people on the planet. I mean, you don't have to bomb it down the field. You can throw it to him 10 times for 3 yards and he'll take it for 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So again, I'm probably not going to end up with Tyreek Hill because he's lower in my rankings, and I'm okay because honestly, I'd rather have Jalen Waddle in the 2nd or 3rd round. Like if Tyreek Hill made it to the 2nd round, I'd be interested. But to me, he's not in the 1st rounder, and that's where you're gonna have to draft him.
I totally agree. I'm gonna fade on Tyreek Hill. I don't think I'm gonna get him. He's gonna be a 1st round pick, and I'm not taking him in the 1st round. 2nd round, if he's sitting there in the 2nd round, floating around, like you said, I'm interested. 1st round is a fade for me. But all the talent in the world, the dude's gonna ball out of control, I think.
Okay. Well, at 4, they had Cooper Kupp, and we discussed him. At 5, we got Buffalo's own Stefon Diggs. Is this the guy you have ahead of Tyreek Hill?
This is the guy that I have ahead of Tyreek Hill. And I think from our quarterback episode that we can say that I didn't put him there just as a home team guy. I love Steph this year. I love Stefon Diggs this year. I was a little concerned about him. Everybody kind of made a big deal about him not showing up, blah, 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 blah. He looks locked in, ready to go. Josh looks locked in, ready to go. I think Steph's going to be a beast this year.
I'm right with you. I actually have him ahead of Hill. I have Diggs at 4. And I just think, what is Stefon Diggs? And this is good. I mean this in a good way. Is he one of those like PPR receivers that get you 100 catches? Yeah. But is he one of those down the field receivers that get you like 10 to 12 touchdowns? Yeah. Is he the kind of guy that's going to stretch the field and get you like 1,100 to 1,400 receiving yards? Yeah. Is he the no doubt number 1 option on his team? Yeah. Does he have an awesome quarterback? Yeah. So why is Stefon Diggs getting faded more this year than I've ever seen him?
I don't know if we have a little bit more insight just as like Buffalo Bills fans. I mean, we follow the team, and maybe people outside are kind of thinking there's still some type of like frustration or something between him and Dorsey or between him and Josh. That's the only thing that I could possibly think of. but I don't know, dude. He looks locked and loaded. I mean, I think he is gonna be a beast, and all those things that you said, and also don't forget, like, does he have like incredible passion for the game and like never wants to come off the field? Yes, like he checks all the boxes of like a dude that you want on your team.
And he finished, it's not even like he had a bad year. He finished 4th last year.
Yeah.
He had, and I actually forgot about this. Whoa. Week 2, I don't even remember this. Week 2, he had 45 points.
Yeah, he balled.
That's crazy. But looking at his games, 26, 44, 14, 10, 24, 30, 22, 14, 24. Like, his consistency was great. He had averaged 19 points a game. He finished at 321. So, like, Stefon Diggs, I'd be comfortable if somebody wanted, and obviously you would. If somebody said take Diggs at 3 instead of Kupp, I maybe wouldn't fight it.
I wouldn't fight it. No.
So obviously because you have Cooper Kupp at like 28.
I think even with a healthy Cooper Kupp though, I probably wouldn't fight it.
Interesting. So I mean, Diggs. I was interested to see where he ended up in your rankings too, because I just feel like he's getting slept on a bit this year. He's everything to this offense. Oh no, okay, Josh is everything to this offense, but like he does everything. He fills the role of the PPR guy, of the field stretcher guy, of the touchdown guy, of the mentor, of the leadership. Like, and your number 2 wide receiver, folks. I'm telling you, I was the only one I had him the highest in the rankings. Your number 2 wide receiver is Dalton Kincaid. And that's not going to hurt Steph at all.
I don't think so. No.
It's going to make life easier for Steph.
I believe so.
Has your take at all changed on Dalton Kincaid with all this news and stuff the past few weeks? You were not low on him, but like
I don't know if you remember, I had Dalton Kincaid as my first like backup tight end. Yeah, I mean, if you're swinging for the fences, I always thought it was Dalton Kincaid. I mean, I think the kid's got a ton of talent, and I think like I don't think Dawson Knox is going to go away. Obviously, we paid him. He's having a great camp. Like I'm curious to see what's going to happen, but I think touchdown wise, I feel like Kincaid is going to be that dude that he's the one that makes the miraculous catches, that goes up, that fights for the ball. Like, I think he's going to be the touchdown guy. And I think Knox is going to be a little bit more of the chain mover. So I'm still right where I am on Kincaid.
And folks, if you want to see how tight end heavy passing attack could work, why don't you just go back 10 years and look at the New England Patriots when they had Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski and a couple of good receivers too. Like, it was scary.
It was scary good.
And I'm not putting Kincaid at Gronkowski levels, but like, who knows? You never.
I mean, these two are going to get matched up on linebackers like all the time. You know what I mean? If you want to throw a dart and be like, who do you think, is Dalton Kincaid going to beat this linebacker? I'm going to say yes, 9 out of 10 times.
It's a classic thing of like basketball. I'm a big basketball fan. If you think of somebody like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Giannis, and or even LeBron 10 years ago, but they think of Giannis. The dude is the fastest guy on the court at 6'11". So if you're gonna put a linebacker on him, if you're gonna put a center on him, he's gonna outrun you. So then what? You're gonna put a safety on him. You're gonna put a guard on him in basketball. He's gonna bully the fuck out of you.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
They're game breakers, and that's great. And I think if he does emerge to anything, if he's as good as Pat Fryermuth's rookie season, like whatever, if he's that good, it's only going to help. It's only going to help Diggs. And if he's better than that, it's only going to help Diggs even more. And it's going to help Gabriel Davis because it takes all the pressure off of him because he showed he couldn't live up to it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of it too, is like, Diggs, if you really go back and look at the tape, like Diggs faced a lot of double coverage last year, and it was because they just had no respect for Gabe Davis. And say what you want about Gabe Davis, I like him. Like I think he's a good dude, but he just doesn't bring that fear to the defense like you would want your number 2 wide receiver to do. And I think Kincaid does that.
I agree, and I don't know how we got in a diatribe about Kincaid, but yeah, we like Stefon Diggs. We have him at 3 and 4 independently, and CBS has him at 5. And at number 6, they have CD Lamb. This is where it starts to get jumbled for me. To me, those my first 4, Chase, JJ, Kupp, and Diggs should be the first round picks.
Right.
I don't feel like anyone else should be coming up here. They had Hill. I don't think Hill should be. And now they have Lamb at 6. And again, I don't know what to feel about CeeDee Lamb. He is talented as could be. He is in a good offense with a quarterback that is, I don't know what to say about Dak. I mean, he's been good and he's been crap. And
it all depends on the day, I guess. Which Dak are we getting?
Right? New
Yeah.
offensive coordinator here. And they lost Zeke, which is going to change the offense, so maybe they're going to throw more. But they also brought in Brandon Cooks, so I don't know if that's going to help or hurt CeeDee Lamb. But after all the racking of my brain, I have him right where they have him at 6.
I actually have him at 5.
Okay.
But I mean, we're not too far off.
That's just because you have Kupp lower. So
It's just because I have Kupp lower, yeah. So I mean, I actually like CeeDee Lamb this year, and I hate to be this guy, but I think there's no better motivation for NFL players than to get paid. And this is a contract year, and he's going to want to get paid, and he's going to want to put up the stats to get that big paycheck.
very true. I didn't even consider the contract year. I don't know what to say. I don't love him. I don't hate him.
Yeah.
It's just he's there. He's there for me. I mean, literally, if he's there in the mid-second round, I'll take him. He does a little. He's kind of like Steph Diggs in the fact that he's going to get a lot of catches and he's going to get maybe a lot of touchdowns and he could get a lot of yards, but he's tied to Dak and not Josh Allen, and that's what brings him down.
That's definitely what brings him down for me. I mean, Dak, like we talked about, Dak has shown, he could be the number 1 quarterback in the game, or he could be the number 24th quarterback in the game. Like, it's just, what are we going to get? Which game are you getting from Dak? So obviously, I think that's a huge concern with CeeDee Lamb, but all the talent in the world, contract year, I love me some Brandon Cooks, and I think he's going to take a little bit of that double coverage away from CeeDee Lamb, open up the field a little bit for him. And I think, they lost Kellen Moore, but they're not going to go away from that air it out style completely, I don't think so.
Well, Mike McCarthy sucks, so we'll have to see what happens over there. So at 7 and 8, they have the ABs back to back. Amon-Ra St. Brown at 7 and AJ Brown at 10, and not Antonio Brown, right? I don't want to confuse all these A Browns.
Where is Antonio Brown right now?
I believe he's getting sued for not paying his Albany football team. So they have Amon-Ra St. Brown and AJ Brown at 7 and 8, and I have it exact opposite. I have AJ Brown at 7 and Amon-Ra at 8, but you could convince me the other way. Amon-Ra is an awesome PPR guy. Amon-Ra is going to get you 100+ receptions, a bunch of yards, and not many touchdowns. So in a PPR league, if you take him above AJ Brown, that's totally fine. AJ Brown, one of the best offenses in the league, one of the premier passing offenses in the league. But he's got a lot of competition. He's a monster, and he stayed healthy for once last year. But you should always be concerned about AJ Brown getting injured. So
you should, you should. You're gonna be so mad. I do not have Amon-Ra St. Brown right there. I actually got him at 10.
That's not that absurd. I mean, I understand it. He's a receiver for the Lions.
Yeah, he's a receiver for the Lions. It's just hard to trust. It's like we said, the touchdown thing is an issue. It really is. I mean, target share, he had like 30% of the target rate running routes last season, I think. So I mean, he's definitely going to get the PPR points, but the touchdowns is a concern.
It is a concern, but you also got to remember he doesn't have any competition for targets until like week 7.
Right.
Because Jameson Williams is suspended, and they got rid of TJ Hawkinson, and the people that think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be this slot receiver are crazy. They didn't watch the Lions last year at all then.
No.
So I just think he's a nice, safe PPR guy. He's Julian Edelman.
I mean, that's a great comparison. The only thing that scares me and why I put him so low is just because, like, I don't like what happens if the Lions just do what they did last year, and it's just like, no matter what, if they're anywhere close to the end zone, they're just going to ground and pound and give like Joe Blow running back 40 40 carries in the red zone, and like some random dude ends up with 30 touchdowns.
Well, it wouldn't be Jahmyr Gibbs.
No, it wouldn't be Gibbs.
Well, so the way you just worded it, what if they did what they did last year? Well, they did that last year, and Amon-Ra St. Brown finished 7th overall with 268 points. So, I mean, he's done it, right?
He's done it, yeah. I mean, he's done it, but also, like you kind of talked about, he doesn't have any competition until week 7, so I see a lot of double teams happening for him. And yeah, it's as much as I like Jared Goff, he's hard to trust. I don't know. At top 10, I'll put him top 10. I'm cool with top 10, but there's a couple guys that I feel a little bit more comfortable about.
Well, it's funny they have him in the rankings at 7 and 8, and actually last year AJ Brown finished 6th and Amon-Ra St. Brown finished 7th. So where did you have AJ Brown?
AJ Brown, actually, I have him at 6. The injury concern is obviously a concern, but I don't know. I think that I just think he has the easiest path to replicate what he did last year.
I'm not arguing. I love AJ Brown. I have him actually ahead in the rankings. So, but I mean, I love AJ Brown. I've always loved AJ Brown. He is, to me, the more talented DK Metcalf. I mean, not just because they went to school together, but they're both fucking look like professional wrestlers playing receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, no, they're both crazy, and I think he has the easiest path. I mean, nothing really changed there. He's still got Devonta Smith, across from him. Jalen Hurts got another year, working together. The strength of schedule is easy. I think he's got the easiest path to kind of replicate what he did last year outside of these, top 5 wide receivers.
All right. Well, the next guy at number 9, they have Davante Adams, and I'm very interested to see where he lines up with some people. I thought I was really low on him, but to be honest, I was surprised to see him at their 9th overall rankings because I felt he would have been ranked higher. I have him at 10, and really it boils down to Jimmy Garoppolo sucks. And like beyond Jimmy Garoppolo is Brian Hoyer, which is even worse. And Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get hurt. So if Jimmy Garoppolo's playing, Davante Adams is going to be okay. He's going to be fine. Fine. Not like he was last year. People are like, well, he got away from Aaron Rodgers and he went to Derek Carr and he was still great. Don't slander Derek Carr like that because Derek Carr ain't no Jimmy Garoppolo, first of all. And I'm hazard to argue that Derek Carr of 2022 is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers of 2022. And like Derek Carr is not afraid to throw the deep ball. I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo knows what a deep ball is. And Davante Adams lives off the deep ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he could do more than that. He's not one-dimensional. That's kind of like DK Metcalf. He's more of a deep ball, one-dimensional guy. Like Davante Adams can do it all. So I don't mean to like shit on his talent. It's Jimmy Garoppolo for me. And like, everybody knows like the Raiders are my second favorite team. It's a tremendous downgrade going from Derek Carr to Jimmy Garoppolo. But this is what Josh McDaniels wants to do. Jimmy Garoppolo is his guy. He drafted Jimmy Garoppolo to take over for Tom Brady in his mind when he was the heir apparent, to Belichick. So like, I'm interested to see in a football scale what happens with the Raiders and Jimmy Garoppolo. But for fantasy, I don't think it's going to like equate over to Davante Adams and he's going to be what he was. So I'm comfortable with him at 10. And I was surprised to see him at 9 in their rankings. Where do you got him?
I was surprised to see him at 9 in the rankings too. I actually have him up a little bit higher. I got him at 7. Okay. I think Davante Adams has kind of showed, not as much as like maybe Tyreek Hill has, or something like that, but I think he's kind of showed that he's almost like quarterback proof. I mean, personally, I feel comfortable with Davante Adams. I know Jimmy G is. I also think Jimmy G is a downgrade from Derek Carr, but not ridiculous. I mean, it's an obvious downgrade, but not ridiculous. And I think Darren Waller being gone, somebody's going to have to soak up those targets. Like you said, Josh McDaniels likes Jimmy G for some reason. For some reason, he likes Jimmy G for some reason. And I kind of feel like he's, I kind of feel like he's almost quarterback proof right now.
I mean, and to be fair to Jimmy G, he's the most handsome quarterback in the world, right?
He's got that going for him
He's
for
got that.
sure. Yeah.
He's in Vegas. There's prostitution's legal.
He don't got to pay for nothing.
But yeah, like, and that's all it is for me. So I have Adams under St. Brown, and that's weird for me to say that.
Yeah.
To me, I thought Adams was going to be like ranked 5th or 6th. Like, I thought it was going to be kind of like Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, like above CeeDee Lamb. Like, that's where I thought they were going to have him. So, like, when I had him at 10, I thought it was like scandalous, but maybe not. Maybe people are catching on with the Jimmy G hate. So,
yeah, I mean, I kind of felt like 7 was kind of the sweet spot for him. I felt like he was going to be exactly where he should be in the rank. I put him exactly where he should be, and I was surprised to see him, kind of being faded on a little bit, especially on some of these rankings where we're going to probably talk about this next guy being ahead of him. But but yeah, I feel comfortable with Devontae Adams in 7. Like I said, Jimmy G's a little bit of a downgrade, but Darren Waller not being there, somebody's gonna have to soak up those targets. And Devontae Adams is just an absolute stud. I mean, he's shown it with Derek Carr. People doubted him when he moved over to the Raiders in the first place. So they're like, oh, Derek Carr is a huge downgrade. He's gonna suck. He was awesome. In my personal opinion, Aaron Rodgers was already like noodle arm Aaron Rodgers in the last couple of seasons that they played together, and he still got it done. Like, I don't know. I feel like Devontae Adams is just a safe bet.
yeah, I mean, again, he's in my top 10. So,
Yeah.
The only one that's the 2 guys ahead of him for me surprised me. One was Amon-Ra St. Brown. We'll find out who the other one was. But I'll tell you who it wasn't, Dave, and it wouldn't be number 10, Garrett Wilson. He's not ahead of Devontae Adams in my rankings. Garrett Wilson.
What fantasy football multiverse did we get sucked into where Garrett Wilson is the stud wide receiver?
Because he finished 21 last year. But like, I get it. I understand where this is coming from. Garrett Wilson was rookie of the year last year. He did this. He had a great season with Mike White and Zach Wilson, and all of a sudden they get the greatest quarterback to ever grace God's green earth, if you ask him, Aaron Rodgers, and that doesn't fucking do anything for me. Like, it's better. Is it better than Zach Wilson? Yes. I mean, yeah, it's better than Zach Wilson, but like, Aaron Rodgers is not Aaron Rodgers. And you can see by what they're doing, well, he picks and plays his favorites. And like, Garrett Wilson is not going to be your favorite. He's got Randall Cobb. He's got Alan Lazard. He's going to fucking be like, hey, you, I don't even know if he's still there, but Braxton Berrios, you're my dude. Like, the whole thing that caused Aaron Rodgers to get out of Green Bay was because the Bills fucking signed Jake Kumerow from their practice squad.
Yeah.
He picks his boys.
Yeah.
Maybe Garrett Wilson becomes his boy. I don't know. But Aaron Rodgers ain't fucking Aaron Rodgers of 2011. He's not Aaron Rodgers of 2020. The dude's turning 40 this year. I don't expect Garrett Wilson to finish top 10. And I actually have Garrett Wilson at 14. And actually looking at it, I could have him at 16. So to me, I mean, I'm at 14 here. He can even be low as 16 for me. So what do you got on Garrett?
I got him on 14 too. And honestly, looking over this, I think I might even be right there with you, flipping him now that we're talking about him a little bit more, flipping him outside the top 15. It is, like we said, he's a great wide receiver, and I guess we're not too far off. I guess. I mean, they got him at 10, we got him at 14, so we're kind of waxing and waning here. But like, also, I don't know. I think like I've seen him go way earlier than 10th too. That's I think that's the thing that blows my mind. Forget about the 10th overall ranking. I've seen him go in drafts like the fifth wide receiver off the board, sixth wide receiver off the board. And I'm just like, are you guys nuts?
And that's why this conversation we're having is important. Where you said, we're not that far off at 10 and 14, but if people are taking him at 6, whoa,
Well, yeah, whoa. So, yeah, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we get into this kind of phase of like almost overthinking things, right? So like fantasy football, you got to take your shots, you got to go for your guys, you got to try to make some chances, you got to make some stuff work, but sometimes you just got to like not be stupid. Just
Are you listening, Adam? Adam, are you listening?
just really think about it and just really make the correct play. You know the correct play, and you know that the correct play is not taking Garrett Wilson over AJ Brown. You know that is the correct play. Like it's crazy.
You know it's gonna happen. Like he's
Oh.
gonna, just because of Aaron Rodgers, and like I don't know. Wait, I should have did that. I can't. And it's like, I know it sounds, and I wasn't a big fan of Garrett Wilson. If you guys, who's gonna, but if you listen back to our wide receiver preview last year, 2022, I was down on Garrett Wilson, and I thought him going to the Jets was a bad move, and I thought the best rookie receiver of last year going into the draft was Drake London. I was wrong. I mean, Garrett Wilson was great, and he did it with terrible quarterback play, and plus, this is Nathaniel Hackett's offense coming in. How great was that offense last year?
Non-existent.
It was god awful. So like, oh, Chazz, but now he's got Aaron Rodgers back. Stop it right now. He goes and has a fucking offense with Russell Wilson. It's god awful. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have him, and he's god awful. And all of a sudden, the boys are back in town, and they're going to be great. Stop. Aaron Rodgers hit a cliff. He's old. It fucking happens. Drew Brees hit a fucking cliff. I mean, he was still winning games and doing what he had to do, but like his last couple of years, he had a fucking noodle arm.
Peyton Manning
too, and he won a goddamn Super Bowl.
Peyton Manning's last. I love Peyton Manning, but Peyton Manning's last year, my God, like they were like the wind was helping him get balls out there. It's like it was so crazy.
You know who you can't say that about? I don't think you can say that about Tom Brady.
I don't think he can. No,
he was still slinging it last year.
He was throwing rockets,
and nobody ever gave Tom Brady credit for his like big arm.
He's a totally different animal, though. This guy wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning and eats like fish tank algae, and like it's like dude, you got to have a whole different type of perspective on life to be that dude, you know.
I would take his life in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. What's up, Giselle? What's up?
What's up, girl?
What up?
At number 11, they have Jalen Waddle, and this is the other guy I have above Devontae Adams, because I have Jalen Waddle at 9. Jalen Waddle, to me, I like Jalen Waddle a lot. He's one of the fastest receivers in the league. He's got Tua, who's fine, and he shows up and plays out. Jalen Waddle, to me, is the younger, allegedly more healthy version of Keenan Allen, and you know I'm a Keenan Allen guy.
I could see that.
So I love him. So to me, Jalen Waddle and a PPR, they have him at 11. I have him higher at 9, and I love him. So I would be happy getting Jalen Waddle on the 2-3 turn. But with the way fucking things are going with receivers, who knows? So this is another guy I'm wondering where you have him, because I'm not sure how you feel about him.
You probably won't get him on the 2-3 turn just because we all know how this is gonna go. I got him right at 11. I think they got him right in the perfect spot. I love Jalen Waddle. I think he's a beast. I think if he wasn't the second best wide receiver on his own team, he would go a lot higher. But
I don't even know if that's true, Dave, because he was never. This is the highest he's ever going, and there was a time that he was the best receiver on his team until last year. So.
I think the unfortunate situation for Jalen Waddle is the game kind of clicked for him at the wrong time. So we saw him kind of struggle as a rookie. He struggled as a wide receiver 1, and like now the game's kind of clicking for him. But like now Tyreek Hill is on the other side. So he just like, unfortunately for Jalen Waddle, he just kind of got it too late. But I think as of right now with his game in the state that it's in, I wouldn't be hard pressed to believe that there's a couple teams that could use him as a wide receiver 1.
I didn't rank it this way, but I would not be surprised if Jalen Waddle outscored Tyreek Hill this year. But I'm not calling it. I don't think it's going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if it did. And I'm not considering injuries or anything like that. Like, this guy is fantastic, and he's a younger version of Tyreek Hill, but a little more possessive-y. I mean, he is the top 4 speed receiver in the league, but you don't even think of him like that. You think, at least me, like he comes off like a possession PPR guy, and he's way more than that. And do I have it wrong with like how I perceive him?
I don't think you do. I mean, I feel the exact same way. Like you said, it's crazy that we're even having this conversation. I mean, how many teams could you say like we would even have a conversation of like the wide receiver 2 would outscore the wide receiver 1? That barely any outside of, maybe not even Cincinnati. I mean, like,
Right.
This is crazy that we're even having this conversation. Yeah. So I love me some Jalen Waddle. I don't have it ranked, that way. I obviously have Tyreek Hill first, but if you told me at the end of the season, like he outscores them, I wouldn't bat an eye at it. I'd be like, yeah.
And it's funny to like put my money where my mouth is. I only have 3 receivers between Hill and Waddle, and I could be hard pressed to take Waddle above Amon-Ra, and that would only put 2 receivers between the two. So,
yeah, as much as I talk shit about Amon-Ra, I feel like I would be hard pressed to move Jalen Waddle up above him. But I mean, I could see it. I could definitely see it. I would, if you made that call during the draft, I wouldn't be like, "Whoa, you all right?" Yeah, it's not far fetched, bro.
Okay, so the final one we'll dive deep in, and maybe not. I mean, it's only 2 of us. Maybe we can go a little longer. Is T. Higgins at 12? I love T. Higgins' talent. I hate that offense.
Yep,
hate that fucking offense. And with Jamar Chase demanding as much as he demands, T. Higgins at 12 is a number 1 receiver. T. Higgins is not a number 1 receiver in fantasy football. Now, do I have him much lower? No. I have him at 15, and he could be the one of the guys that I have Garrett Wilson just above him, and now that I look at it, there's a good chance I'm taking T. Higgins over Garrett Wilson, so he could be at 14. So 14 or 15 I have him, and that's where he belongs. I cannot take T. Higgins as a number 1 receiver. I just can't get my mind around it. I could do it with Waddle, but I can't do it with T. Higgins.
Yeah. I'm actually right in the same boat you are. I actually got T. Higgins at 13. Like I said, I can't take T. Higgins as my wide receiver 1. I could do it with Waddle. I can't do it with Higgins. But he is without a doubt my kind of clear cut number 13. He's the wide receiver 2, number 1. I'm all about that for sure.
Okay, and great quarterback play. So the next guy we'll talk about too, Devontae Smith. He literally everything we just said about Higgins is the same with Devontae Smith.
The only upside I think here though is T. Higgins. Don't forget, and I'm probably gonna sound like a jerk when I say this. Another contract year, we got another player playing to get paid. I think that motivation is gonna be burning.
I don't think if that's the case, I don't think Devontae Smith's that far off of a contract either. Then. Because they're just about the same age. I think they're a draft apart. But they have them at 13, 14, or 12, 13. I have them at back-to-back at 15 and 16, and they could be at 14 and 15 because I have Garrett Wilson above them. And now that I look at it, I'm definitely putting Garrett Wilson below those two. So Devontae Smith at 16, or if I put him at 15, I love him. I traded for him last year. I like him. I think he's one of the most talented receivers in the league. He's a little small, but the league is turning into smaller receivers.
Yep.
But the only reason that I have him so low is because I got 3 guys ahead of him we haven't talked about yet. So, I mean, I love him. He's great. He's great to have. He's a great wide receiver too.
I think he's a great wide receiver too. I actually have him pretty low. I got him at 17, and I think if you're,
I know you've got Nuke ahead of him.
Listen. Listen. Okay. I just feel like Devonta Smith has the hardest path. So we talked a lot about AJ Brown having the easiest path to kind of replicate what he did. I think Devonta Smith has the hardest path to replicate what he did.
In what sense? Same offense, same scheme. It's not. I don't think AJ Brown is that much more of an alpha target hog. So why is it such a difference in your head?
I just feel like as much as Devonta Smith, I don't want to talk shit about the guy. Like, he's a great wide receiver, but I feel like in a few situations and a few key situations, he got lucky. Just to be honest, I just feel like these stats are padded. And I think say what you want. If he replicates what he did last year, great. If he exceeds what he did last year, great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the dude as a player. I'm going from just fantasy perspective. I do think that the return on the value for Devonta Smith is not going to be there this year. Best case scenario, he replicates what he did last year, but he's getting drafted like he's going to increase that production, and I just don't see it happening.
And like we said, it's high. He's gonna go way quicker than we want him to, and it's gonna be tough. So you had him at, where did you have him? You said
I actually have him at 17.
I was right about Nuke, wasn't I?
You were indeed.
Of course I was. Okay, and then another guy we'll dig deep in is the guy they have next, Chris Olave, and interesting. They have him at 14. I have him higher at 13. I have him just above Garrett Wilson. I will take Chris Olave 10 drafts out of 10 over Garrett Wilson. So he turned into the alpha dog in that offense last year. He's got improved quarterback play coming in. Yes, Michael Thomas is coming back, and I love Michael Thomas as a later quarterback or receiver pick. Is there a chance? And this is a question: is there a chance, Dave, that we're overhyping Olave and Michael Thomas is their number one and finishes top, 15?
I mean, there's always a chance. But that being said, I don't think it's going to happen. And I think, honestly, Michael Thomas coming back is going to be good news for Chris Olave, because I do think Thomas stretches the field. I do think he's going to open things up for Olave. I'm super high on him this year. I got him at number 9. He showed he could be an alpha dog. He showed that he's put up points. He's got improved quarterback play. I love me some Derek Carr, even though most people don't. I think he's got a path to a really strong second year.
Yeah, and I was a big fan of Olave coming out of the draft. All those receivers at Ohio State, he seemed to be the best one to me.
Yeah.
And he's in a perfect situation. He's in a great offense and much better quarterback upgrade. Again, I have him at 13, and that's just because there's two guys we haven't talked about I have above him. So, all right. So the elephant in the room, where do you have Nuke?
Where do you think I have Nuke? Let's throw that out.
You gotta have Nuke. I feel you have Nuke like between 10 and 12.
I do. Yeah. He's number 12. He's number 2. I got DeAndre Hopkins number 12. He is a wide receiver 1 in a 12-man league for me.
And fucking wild stuff.
Why is that wild? Why is that wild, dude?
Because he's with Ryan Tannehill.
So what, dude? Kyler Murray was a bum.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, Ryan Tannehill also had AJ Brown, who he could never support. So that's what scares me.
I understand the concern. I do, but I love D-Hop. I love me some D-Hop. The dude was suspended for 6 games last year and came back to almost be to lead the league in receptions. It's insane. It's insane, the production that he puts up, and everybody is sleeping on him. And I feel like from what I've seen out of DeAndre Hopkins, he's not happy about it. And he kind of wants to show some shit is going to get crazy this year. And I'm banking on it. I'm banking on it.
All I got to say is he said, I'm only going to sign with a Super Bowl contender and an elite quarterback. You sign with Ryan fucking Tannehill. I'm not saying they're not Super Bowl contenders. I mean, good defense, great running game. They bring in Nuke. So I think the team could surprise some people, but yeah, you'd sign with an elite quarterback. All right, Nuke. That being said, we knew you're a Nuke simp and you'd have him high.
He did sign for the money. He signed for the money. I'm not gonna back him on that. He signed for the money, but I mean, whatever. Well, I don't care if the Titans win a Super Bowl if DeAndre Hopkins gets me 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Well, I have him a little bit lower, but I mean, I think I have him in a little more reasonable place of 18, and they have him at 17. And a lot of it is just because I don't trust Ryan Tannehill, and I have a couple people higher. So so me calling out your wide receiver simp, which one would you think would have to call out for me? Would you say you've been playing with me for a long time? So
I've played with you for a long time, but I'm not really I might not actually hate it this year. I'm curious to know where you got Keenan Allen and Calvin Ridley. Those are the two. Those are the two that I'm curious to know where you got them at.
Those are the two that I have a little higher than most. So
That's okay. Yeah.
I have, because you've always called me out for being a Keenan Allen simp forever. So
Yeah. No,
and I was surprised
I-
you grabbed Ridley out too.
I know your targets. We drafted long enough. I know how you play.
So they have Ridley at 15 and Keenan Allen at 16. And I have them a little bit much higher. Not much. I have them at 11 and 12. To me, they're both alpha wide receivers. And I get it, Keenan Allen gets hurt. But this is a PPR league. And if he doesn't get hurt, he's getting 120 catches. Oh, and by the way, they don't have the terrible Joe Lombardi offense anymore. So Mr. Justin Herbert, the richest quarterback in the league, is going to unleash the ball more. So I expect Keenan Allen to be a number one wide receiver this year. I really do. And I always feel that way. But like, I'm sure he is so dependable when he's healthy. And I get it, he's not always healthy, but like, I don't know. I love him, and I think this offense in the Chargers is going to surprise people. I said it. I don't know if you listened to the running back episode. I'm expecting a major downgrade from Eckler.
Yep.
So where are those targets going to go? I think Keenan's going to get most of them. So for me, he's 12. And
Where do I think they're going to go? They're going to go to Joshua Palmer because everybody's going to be hurt on this offense.
Fair. And then I do have Calvin Ridley one spot above him at 11 because Calvin Ridley has been a top 5 wide receiver before, or 5 or 6 or whatever. So
Yep.
Calvin Ridley 2 years ago or whatever was a top 5 like drafted wide receiver in fantasy football. And then he had his mental break. And then he got suspended, and everybody forgot this fucking guy exists. And now all of a sudden he's going to be the alpha wide receiver with the best young quarterback in the NFL, and like arguably the best young quarterback in the NFL.
Arguably.
So it's just perfectly set up for like when Nuke joined. When Nuke joined our boy,
Hey there, little fella.
or when Stephon Diggs joined Josh, or when AJ Brown joined Jalen Hurts. It's like perfectly set up that Ridley is joining the Blonde Bomber. So I know it seems like a bit of a reach, but how am I going to take Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Devontae Smith over Calvin Ridley, who I think could have, 12 touchdowns and 1,500 yards if the offense goes the way I see it?
I mean, that's a gut check play, and I can't fault you for it. I really can't. I mean, Calvin Ridley, again, another dude, all the talent in the world. People are sleeping on him. I got him high. I mean, I obviously got him inside my top 20. I'm fine with him at 15. I draft a little bit more conservative, so I'm probably not going to get Calvin Ridley, just because I haven't seen him on the field in a long time. And I just, for me, I'm a little bit more conservative where he's going. I'm probably not going to take him. But if you tell me like at the end of the year, like Calvin Ridley is a top 5 wide receiver again, I wouldn't be like shocked about it.
Well, like sometimes you just got to take your shots, and like I don't think Keenan Allen is a shot at to finish 12 because I mean I don't have the fucking numbers, but the dude has a bunch. So
Keenan Allen's a beast. Don't get me wrong on Keenan Allen. I love Keenan Allen. I always have. I just, we say this all the time. You can't draft with the injury concern in mind. You got to draft like these players are healthy. But for some reason, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are the 2 players that I cannot get it out of my head. Like I'm gonna get these guys for 8 games. So I always fade.
And you're right. But what I just want to quantify this here. Keenan Allen missed 8 games last year.
Right.
And he went. So this is what happened. Keenan Allen played. He got hurt week 1.
Yeah, week 1.
And I'm sure you were doing backflips. And then he was out. Came back. Got hurt.
Got hurt.
Bye week. Out. Came
Out.
back. End of the season run. And it's the what have you done for me lately thing, right? So he comes back, his first game injured, coming back, he gets 12 points. Then 16, then 21, then 21, then 16, then 21, then 12, then 30 to end the season.
Yep.
So if you're going on a what have you done for me lately thing, he ended the year strong. He ended the year with 16 and a half points per game. Okay, fine, whatever. But I mean, 2 of those games were injuries and whatever. One of those games was a 3-point game. He got hurt. So I get the trepidation, but this whole offensive shift is just geared for Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Quentin Johnston. Well, not maybe yet, but for Mike Williams to eat. And plus them drafting Quentin Johnston to me signifies they still have faith in Keenan Allen, because Quentin Johnston is like Mike Williams Jr.
Yeah, and also not ready.
Sure.
Yeah.
But they didn't draft Keenan Allen replacement.
No, they went for the Mike Williams deep threat replacement, and like I said, dude, I love Keenan Allen. I love the dude. If he's on the field, he's a stud. And if he didn't have this injury history, I would easily have Keenan Allen as like a top 12 wide receiver basically every single year. But the dude just has to get on the field and just stay healthy. I just need one seat, and we're running out of time here. We're literally running out of time on Keenan Allen. The dude's not going to play much longer. So like
it's 10th year, or
yeah,
it's his 11th year, I believe now.
Yeah, and I can't get it out of my head. I know you got to draft and not be scared of injury, but those 2 players are the 2 players that I'm like, I'm going to get these guys for 8 games, and it's like I'm not doing it.
Okay, so this isn't for the TikTok, but just quickly read off your top 12.
All right. Top 12. We got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, Amon St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, and DeAndre Hopkins.
All right, and we're not actually so different, because I've got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, and Keenan Allen. So is there anybody surprising that you want to point out in your next
12? Christian Watson. Where do you have Christian Watson?
I got Christian Watson just underneath Nuke at 19.
19? All right. I got Christian Watson at 24.
Woo!
I want to know where this Christian Watson love comes from. For real. I want to know where it comes from.
Christian Watson, because I'll pull up these numbers. Let me find him on this list here, because his tear at the end of the season was absurd. And I don't know if you remember how absurd it was.
I had him.
Okay. I got him right here. So, okay. So started off the season not doing anything, but he also had cover your ears, New York Jets Simps, a horrible quarterback last year. Okay, so to start the year, 6 points, 3 points, missed a game, 9 points, 1 point, missed a game, 2 points, 4 points.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I believe he found steroids. And then 33, 21, 21, 24, bye week. And then he slowed down to 9, 11, 2 points, and 16 and 11. So, like, he had that big stretch there to get people like into the playoffs and stuff. So I don't feel I'm absurd to have him at 19. I was surprised. I actually thought I would have had him higher. They have him at 21. You have him at 24. So obviously I'm a little higher on him. But who so I'm looking at him. They have him at 21. They have him around Drake London, Christian Kirk, DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy. Are you kidding me? Who's got way more upside? Christian Watson has way more upside than all those guys.
I don't think it's absurd to have him at 19, but he's another guy like Garrett Wilson, where I've been seeing him go in drafts as like maybe the 12th wide receiver off the board. And I'm
that's a lot.
I'm like, where is this Christian Watson love coming from? Because I had him last year, and it's like, yeah, you read off the stats, but like, what was Christian Watson's receptions and yards? Because Christian Watson's point value, a lot of those point values came from like 4-catch, 3 touchdown games.
Very true. You're right.
And I just don't think that's going to be replicated, because I had Christian Watson and I watched him putting up the points, and it's like that dude was boom or bust.
Very true. Yep.
He would have 4 catches for 3 touchdowns, or he would have 1 catch for 4 yards. And I'm just like, dude, what is happening with Christian Watson? Like, I never know when to play this guy. Like,
do you have him above or below Drake London?
I have him above Drake London.
Okay, good. I was going to ask that because I love Drake London. I think Drake London is one of the most talented young receivers in the league, but I don't even have him in my top 24. So,
I don't have him in my top 24 either.
because the way this team is going to be, Bijan Robinson is going to run the ball 947 times. So, like, it's just hard to have Drake London up there. And for the people at home, Dave, as much as you hate Kyle Pitts, and we get it, you hate him, and you know I like him, but given my rankings, I still had him low. It wasn't like, how are people taking fucking Drake London in like the 4th round and Kyle Pitts like in the 6th?
I can't do it.
Wait, where is it? Sorry. I have got it.
Mind-boggling, isn't it?
Insane.
There's no more upside than for Drake London than Kyle Pitts. I feel way safer taking Kyle Pitts than Drake London. Like if I did a top 200, Kyle Pitts is above Drake London.
As much as I fade on Kyle Pitts, I mean, I'll be the first one to say he's the number 1 target in this offense. I do not understand the Drake London fad. I don't, I'm so faded on Drake London. I basically cross him off my sheet before I even get into the draft because I know I'm not getting him. Like, there's no way I'm taking Drake London in the early parts of the 4th round. Like, you're insane.
Yeah, that's wild to me. They have him even on this. Okay, they have him at 23. That's not. They have him above DK Metcalf. How are you taking Drake London above DK Metcalf?
That's crazy.
And here's another one that's fucking mind-boggling. At 19, they have big booty Jerry Jeudy. Why? Why is he 19?
I don't know what they saw last year, but I got Jerry Jeudy outside my top 24 too.
Outside my top 24, like
outside.
Third.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Third. I can't even.
Like, you're so worried about Deshaun Watson, you're taking a guy like Jerry Jeudy over like Amari Cooper. Like,
right. They have Amari Cooper. Where the fuck?
25th? Right.
20. Do you know where he finished last year?
I'd see, dude, top 15, easy.
10.
10, yeah, 10. Top 10.
Amari finished 10 last year without Deshaun Watson.
Without Deshaun Watson, and you're gonna put Jerry Jeudy with bum ass Russell Wilson in your top 20 and fade on Amari. See that, dude? I don't understand what's going on with the wide receivers. I don't get it.
Now, and granted, I have Amari. I was going to ask you. I have him a little low too. I have Amari Cooper at 21.
I actually have Amari Cooper at 15, but I'm a little higher on Deshaun Watson than most people are.
And I don't blame you for having him at 15 because he's 10 last year.
Yeah, he finished 10 last year, and I think we talked about it on the QB show that Deshaun Watson looked awful last year, but he hadn't touched the field in a while. He's got more practice time. He's got more reps with Amari Cooper, and I think he's going to be better than advertised. And Amari Cooper inside the top 15 is not far-fetched in my mind.
Well, give me your 13 through 24, and if you feel something is, controversial, go ahead and tell me why.
I know exactly what's going to be controversial, but we'll run through it. Number 13, I got T. Higgins. Number 14, Garrett Wilson, Amari Cooper, Deebo Samuel, Devonta Smith, Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, Christian Watson.
So are you saying Terry is the?
I think Terry McLaurin and Chris Godwin are probably the standouts of most people being like, why are those two in your top 24? Okay.
Terry, to me, I was struggling with because I wanted to put him in my top 24 because I like Terry McLaurin. And I just couldn't. And I'll read off my list why, because I think you are sleeping on one guy. I think you're missing one guy that I have that you don't. Because at 13, I've got Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, Deebo Samuel, Nuke Hopkins, Christian Watson, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf. I as well have Chris Godwin. And I think the guy that you're forgetting about, but I understand why, I don't think you said him, is Mike Williams. So
yes, Mike Williams. Mike Williams is the guy that I'm also fading on, and for obvious reasons. Love the dude. He just can't stay healthy.
That offense is going to explode. But to me, I just couldn't, as much as I like Scary Terry, I couldn't put him above Mike Williams. I couldn't. So that's it. So
I totally understand. I think we could both agree here though that Chris Godwin, some good value this year.
Well, not only Chris Godwin, some good value, bro. What the fuck? And we didn't do it either. Mike Evans.
Yeah.
So and we're guilty.
And I would put Mike Evans fairly high up. I just you got to pick one. I feel like in the top 24, you got to pick one wide receiver from this set, and I think it is Chris Godwin, because we talked about it. Is Mayfield likes to dump the ball short, and I think Goodwin's going to be that guy. But like, dude, Mike Evans is going for his 11th season in a row with 1,000 yards. It's like, it doesn't matter. He did it with Jameis Winston. He did it with, like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's crazy how late these guys are going in drafts.
Give me 2 or 3 random deeper sleepers that you think need attention. Or if you want, I will, because I kind of have them in mind. I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I think Hollywood Brown needs a little more attention and love.
Yep.
Sitting at 32 in these rankings, and he's the number 1 wide receiver on this team. And he was actually playing very well last year, and he was playing very well this time in Baltimore. So slept on. I also think, I've said it before, Michael Thomas is slept on like crazy.
Yep.
And I also think, call it a homer alert, I think Gabe Davis is slept on. They have him down at 38 here, or 36. I think Gabe Davis is a bit slept on. Gabe,
ever since he was drafted in like the 4th round, it's hard for me to get on like the Gabe Davis train. He just didn't produce. You know me, dude. I love him. He's a great player. He seems like a great guy. I don't know. He's so hard to predict of like when you can play Gabe Davis, because he's another one of those dudes where it's like he's gonna go off for 4 touchdowns or he's gonna do nothing.
Very true.
Yeah.
And then before you give me your kind of sleepers, which Kansas City receiver are you taking first?
See, this is a toss up for me too. I would love to say that I'm gonna kind of go basic here, but I still love me some Sky Moore. I think they invested in him. I think he's got enough time with Patrick Mahomes. If I'm looking for a breakout candidate, I'm going Sky Moore.
I love the Sky Moore pick, but like Sky Moore and Marquette MVS and Rashee Rice, I think like they're all going to have their ebbs and flows. They're all going to be all right. But if anybody is going to like crush it, it's going to be Tony. But of course, he's always fucking hurt.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney is always hurt.
So,
that's another dude. He's always hurt. So,
Kadarius Toney could be, the Tyreek Hill, but he's just never healthy. But like, I'm just like urging people to not forget about this guy. He's such a talented wide receiver, and the fucking Giants just didn't know what to do with him, and he was always hurt. So I'm not gonna blame it all on the Giants. So
I liked him when he was in New York. I always kind of waited for him to take that next step and become this like alpha elite wide receiver 1, and he just never kind of did it. But hopefully he can stay on the field and he can do it in Kansas City, because I always liked him. I thought he was a cool dude, and I don't know.
So give me a few of the deeper guys that.
A couple deeper guys here. Michael Pittman at 41.
Good choice. I was a Pittman sip last year, so
I think Michael Pittman, obviously from last year with the Matty Ice debacle, has put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, and they haven't forgot it. Michael Pittman with Anthony Richardson could be insane. Like it literally could be insane. And this dude is getting drafted as the 40th wide receiver off the board.
Wow.
Yeah, that's absolute insanity to
Bro,
me.
41.
41. Yeah, 41 for Michael Pittman. Like,
Jordan
dude,
Addison is higher than him.
Yeah, that's crazy. And number 2, I think could be kind of a reach here, but I'm looking at Odell in Baltimore, man. I think he could come back and really be something, man. And Lamar is like, he's excited to have him on the team. He could be something great. And Odell Beckham is getting drafted as like the 50th wide receiver off the board. Like, that's insane. That's literally insane.
I'm looking at their top 60, and I don't even see Odell Beckham. I see Zay Flowers at 40.
I mean, we're looking at dudes like
I'm sorry, 56.
56. He's 50. He's being drafted after Adam Thielen.
Come on,
dude,
he's getting drafted for Jamison Williams, who's fucking missing 6 games.
He's missing 6 games. It's like I don't understand where the like I get it. All right, Odell Beckham's old. There's injury concerns.
Old Dell.
Oh, he's Odell Beckham. But like, dude, he could if he even comes like anything close to being in form, and you're grabbing him as the 56th wide receiver off the board, like that is insane value right there.
So I mentioned, and if you got another one that you don't get, I mentioned earlier Jerry Jeudy. I don't get another one. I don't get, and maybe I'm wrong, and somebody could talk me into it. Brandon Ayuk as a top 30 receiver. They got him ahead of Mike Williams, Hollywood Brown. They got him ahead of Mike Evans, Gabe Davis. Why? I've never seen Ayuk do anything like. He's had a few good games. He is the number 4 option on this team. Their number 1 option on this team is Christian McCaffrey. The number 2 option on this team is George Kittle. The number 3 option on this team is Deebo Samuel. And I'm sorry, all you fucking people that watch football and seem to think that they have a good quarterback. They don't have a great quarterback. And, I don't love Brock Purdy at all. Even though you guys know I was excited about the potential of Trey Lance. Even if Trey Lance was in there, Trey Lance or Brock Purdy are not going to support 4 weapons.
No.
So I don't know. I do not get Brandon Ayuk at all.
I don't understand it. Brandon Ayuk is just a total fade for me. Another guy is Smith in Seattle. I can never say his last name. But he's going 37 right now. And
the rookie Smith Jigba.
Yeah. But like, dude, this is rookie hype like crazy. Don't you think?
Yeah, yes and no, because if you're looking like he's between Gabe Davis and George Pickens. George Pickens has done nothing in the league either, but that guy was like rookie hype sensation last year. He's just and Zay Flowers is sitting there 40. I don't know. It's the thing with JSN is he is very good, and he's going into an offense that was clicking last year, but he's also the probably 3rd weapon, right? So, but I wouldn't be surprised if JSN outscores Tyler Lockett, because I do think he's a talented guy. But
you think? I love me some Tyler Lockett. He's so consistent and so slept on all the time.
What on earth other than last year has Tyler Lockett been consistent? He is the fucking king of 4 points, 4 points, 4 points, 42. Like the trophy for fucking boom or bust should be the Tyler Lockett Memorial Trophy. How do you say he's consistent?
He's consistent for season long. He's not consistent game long. But if you look at the stats over the course of the season, you know you're going to get some bangers from Tyler Lockett. Am I slotting Tyler Lockett into my wide receiver 2 and feeling comfortable about it? No. But like, am I sliding Tyler Lockett into my flex spot when he's got a great matchup and feeling pretty good about it? Yeah. I mean, the possibility to grab a 40 burger out of your flex from Tyler Lockett on a good matchup is like, it's there.
But and to give Tyler Lockett some love, he did finish 13 last year, and it was his most consistent season ever. So yeah. I mean, I'll give him his due. But like, and you know what? I'm looking at the all the shit talking I just said. Brandon Ayuk finished 15th last year. What?
Yeah,
what?
I think that's a fluky season though, right? Like,
he finished ahead of DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, T. Higgins. Like, what?
Do you think he replicates that?
No, I don't. I think I don't even know how he finished 15.
Right. That's the thing that I'm kind of going with is like, I feel like a lot of these guys getting drafted, like where they're getting drafted, you're counting on these guys to have the same season over and over and over. Like, you're counting on like people that have proven they can do it over and over and over again. It's like, this guy had one good season, right? And you're just expecting that like that's going to be the new normal. And it's like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I feel like that's how people are drafting now. It's like you have one good season and that's the new normal. Like, you'll never be worse than that season.
You're very right. All right, Dave, are you ready to do a mock draft?
I am ready.
You didn't join yet? Did you join yet?
I did join. Where would you like me to slot in?
You can pick wherever, because I've got rules for you, but you go wherever you want.
I'm gonna go team 8.
Okay, so you have to you're not allowed to make a pick until I tell you, anytime, at any point until I say you're free, because I am going to force different things on us.
You're gonna force this is the wheel of death draft.
Well,
Okay.
originally what I was going to do is I was going to call it God mode, and I wasn't going to draft at all, and I was going to draft for you guys like your first few rounds,
Ooh.
but we can't because nobody's here. So, but I have a different thing. So, so we're going to do our 12 team draft here. I'm drafting 3. Dave is drafting 8, and he'll get his rules when they come. So we're going to start the draft, and it goes Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson. Okay. So,
I know where you're going.
no, well, so actually, no. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something. I'm going to change. I because it's a mock draft, I'm allowed to change the players. So I'm going to put Jamar Chase as number 1, Jefferson at number 2, because that's kind of what's happening in some form, right?
Right.
And I'm not going to do this at all, but I wanted to start my draft with Christian McCaffrey, so that's why I picked 3. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this pick here for Christian McCaffrey. It's a mock draft, folks. Relax, but I have reasons. So
I feel like this is still God mode.
it is God mode. This is my mock draft. So I went.
Okay.
went Travis-
I'm not touching everything.
It went Travis Kelce, Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill. We're up to you, Dave. You're taking a wide receiver.
I am taking a wide receiver here. I have to.
Yes, yeah, I'm telling you, you have to. So you went Diggs, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, Nick Chubb. Second round, Patrick Mahomes, Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, and back to you, Dave. You are taking your choice of wide receiver.
Oh, dude, you're screwing me, dude.
I have reasons. Just go.
Are we showing the people what happens when you go wide receiver? Because this is horrific. This is horrific. I already don't have a running back. Should we show them what really happens, and I'll take Garrett Wilson so you guys can really see what your team's gonna look like?
do whatever you want. I mean, even if you want to go and scroll all the way down and find Nuke, you can.
No. No. Okay, I'm gonna take Devontae Adams. I'm gonna try to do this legit, like make a good
And it went
team.
Josh Jacobs and Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, Jalen Waddle. Back up to me, Dave. I'm going to take a running back. So you're starting with 2 receivers. I'm starting with 2 running backs. So I'm going to take. So my options are Tony Pollard, Ramondre, Brees Hall, Najee Harris. I'm going to go with Tony Pollard. Oops, hit the wrong button. Oh wait, I'm not sharing my screen for people at home. Hang on a second. I got to share my screen for the people at home.
Sorry, guys. God mode was activated.
Okay, sharing the screen. Screen share. There we go. And then do that. Okay, perfect. All right. So now they can see. So I'm going to take Tony Pollard. Okay. So then it went Josh, Ramondre, Mark Andrews, Devontae Smith. Back to me. So I went running back, and I am also going to take I'm going to take Jalen Hurts here. Okay. So I went 0 wide receiver for my first 3 picks. All right. And then you, though, as well, you're going to take 1 more wide receiver here.
Another wide receiver?
Yep, you're going 3 receivers in a row. Yep.
Yo, you want to trade teams, bro?
This is a fun. So you got Derek. You got Stephon Diggs and Devontae Adams. You still got Ridley, Debo, T. Higgins, Amari. I can see Nuke. Take Nuke.
I do. Yeah, I do see Nuke. I'm going to go Nuke.
Okay. And then Debo, Joe Burrow, Travis Etienne, Jahmyr Gibbs. Get out of here. Calvin Ridley, Kenneth Walker, Keenan Allen, T. Higgins. I'm not going to make you take a wide receiver, but you're still passing on running back. So you can
my God,
go
dude.
quarterback or tight end.
Oh, CG, I'm faded on quarterbacks already. All right, give me George Kittle.
Okay.
Dude.
And then we got Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Mar Jackson, Terry McLaurin, and I'm doing the same thing, either tight end or another running back. And I'll take there's another running back hanging out here that I like. I'm going to take Miles Sanders. So then went Mari Cooper, Justin Herbert, Damian Pierce, TJ Hawkinson. So now you're free when it's your pick to take a running back. And so I'm free to take a receiver if I want. So looking into the receivers, we got DJ Moore, Drake London, Jerry Jeudy, Christian Watson. I'm pushing it, bro. I'm pushing it. I'm gonna
You get it. You gonna do it? You gonna do it? You gonna do it?
Oh, fuck. Okay, I am. This is so god ugly. Okay,
This is bad.
This is tough. Like, but this
Yeah.
is like practice, man.
If it makes you feel any better, Miles Sanders was supposed to be my saving grace, and then you stole that from me.
You know what? I'm pushing it. Yeah, give me Kyle Pitts. I'm pushing it.
Let's go.
All right, Fields, London, Swift, Moore. So you're welcome to take a running back, but if you want to take the quarterback and push it one more round like I did,
I'm not pushing it. This is scary to me right now. I'm taking Madison.
okay. Then it went Goddard, Dobbins, Judy, Kamara. I thought you would have went Kamara. Godwin, Lawrence, Waller, Akers, and it's back to you. Do whatever.
Back to me. All right. I'm fading. I'm fading on quarterback. I missed that boat. Good Lord, dude. This is awful. This is literally awful. I would quit this draft. Okay. I'm going to go. Dude, this is ridiculous.
What's so bad? I mean, what are your options here at running back?
My only options at running back right now are I'm not the hugest James Conner fan. Delvin Cook obviously hasn't been signed.
You got Javonte Williams there.
I do have Javonte Williams here. I also have James Cook here. Rashad White. I'm a fade on Rashad White. I do have David Montgomery.
Yep, that's Bumbles Jr.
Yeah, I do have David Montgomery, but I just want a dude that I think is going to be. Arizona is going to be so terrible. I'm going to go James Cook here.
Okay. And then it went Pacheco, Mike Williams. Damn it.
And you got.
That receiver run got me there. I
Yep.
took Pitts and I was hoping to get Mike Williams, Christian Watson, Michael Pittman, but they got me there. Oh my God, the number one receiver option is Brandon. Nope. But honestly, like, I don't have an alpha dog receiver here I can take, but I still like some of these options. I like Hollywood. I like Mike Evans. We're going to go Mike Evans here.
Yeah.
And then I went Hollywood, Connor, Ayuk, Dalvin Cook. And then I'm going to dig a little further. Maybe not. Oh my God. Fuck, this is so gross. See, I don't like this. I don't like Tyler Lockett here. I don't like Christian Kirk. I don't like JSN. I used to love Deontay Johnson, but I'm not sold on Kenny Pickett.
Right.
So that's tough. Brandon Cooks is done. Fuck it. I'm going Mike Williams here. Or Mike Thomas here. I know it's early, but I would be heartbroken if he doesn't come back. So Rashad White, Tyler Lockett, Christian Kirk, Jordan Addison, up to you here.
I don't hate that pick. All right. I'm gonna take Javonte Williams just because
Good pick.
I need him.
Good pick. Deontay Johnson, Treylon Burks, David Montgomery, George Pick. Look at this receiver run.
This is crazy.
Jesus.
Dude.
I took Mike Thomas at the right time. So after I took Mike Thomas, it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 receivers, and who knows what you're gonna do here.
That's absolutely insane. Okay. All right, I'm going back. We're going back to the receiver well, and I'm gonna grab my guy right here. I'm gonna grab me Odell.
Okay. Deshaun, David Njoku, Pat Fryermuth, AJ Dillon. And you know what? I got a guy that I'm high on here with Brandon Cooks, so I'm gonna take him. Cooks, Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, Jahan Dotson, Juju Smith-Schuster, and I wanted him to fall to me and give me Gabe.
Let's go.
So I was a little scared about how my receivers were shaking out here, but I'm happy with how it ended. Rashard Penny, Bumbles, Tua, Kirk, and we're on you. So those quarterbacks are starting to go, dude.
Yeah, quarterbacks are. I'm screwed on quarterback at this moment.
Here,
I do have options, but I'm not super excited about them. I'm gonna take Anthony Richardson right here.
That's a good choice. Quentin Johnson, Jacques Charbonnet, Jameson Williams, Elijah Moore, Dalton Schultz, Zay Flowers, A.A. Round, Dalton Kincaid in the 10th round.
Wow.
And that's to back up Dallas Goedert. That is the earliest I've ever seen Kincaid drafted.
Yeah, that's the earliest. He must be moving up.
Yeah, dude. That's something.
Dude.
Yeah, you need to pay attention to that stuff. That's why we do this.
Brah. We got to stop talking. We got to stop talking so much about this stuff. Okay, I'm going to go back to...
You got your 3 running backs, and I think
do.
they shook out pretty good for you, to be honest.
They shook out okay. I'm gonna grab me some
Now,
Peter.
would you be crazy in your mind to take another quarterback here and get your 2 quarterback options if you're going to juggle back to back?
That's exactly what I was kind of looking at right now. Is like I was wondering if I should go back to back, and I think I'm going to. I think I'm just gonna grab Gino right here.
And I don't find anything wrong with that scenario. You waited to take a quarterback, and you took a young guy who might not start and a more proven veteran guy.
Right. Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that.
And obviously hoping Richardson to take take the crown and go crazy.
I mean,
but-
probably week 1 you're starting Gino.
Yep.
Right, but I'm comfortable with that move in the 10th or the 9th and the 10th round.
Yeah.
I don't find that's anything bad. Khalil Herbert, Samaje Perine, Cole Kmet, Cortland Sutton, who, by the way, I didn't rank either of them, but I probably have Cortland Sutton ahead of Jerry Jeudy in my rankings.
I love Sutton.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that with this all of a sudden Jerry Jeudy nonsense. Okay. So back to me, I have 3 running backs. I haven't taken one in a while. But I'm going to do something here. Do I take another receiver? So no, there's no receiver I'm crazy about. So I'm going to take, because I'm going to be smart, and I took Christian McCaffrey, so give me Elijah Mitchell here.
Not a bad play.
Because I'm hoping to get another running back on the way back, and it's going to work out. So then it went Damian Harris, Justin Tucker, the Eagles defense, Evan McPherson, and back to me. The guy I really wanted there, no, not really, nah. I was happy with the guy I took. Fuck, it's so ugly right now. God. Oh,
This is where it gets deep.
the love of God. I'm going to take Sky Moore.
It's not a bad play. I like that play.
Take Sky Moore there. Then it went Devin A. Chain, Alan Lazard, Chiggy Okonkwo, Adam Thielen. Back to you.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the running back well here, and I'm gonna grab Deontay Foreman.
Good pick there.
Yeah, obviously I faded on running back, so I need a guy that has a chance to really put up some points out of nowhere.
Excellent pick there. And back to you now. So now you
And-
have 4 running backs. You're 4 running backs on this 0-ish RB strategy. Madison, James Cook, Javonte Williams, and Devontae Foreman. I mean, that's good, dude.
I actually don't hate how it panned out. I would still love to have a nice solid, our running back combo, but I'm not too terribly upset about this. Let's see. Let's go back here, and I think I'm gonna grab me. Give me some Rashee Rice right here.
Okay. Kobe Myers, T. Bass, Daniel Jones, Tyler Higbee. Back to me.
And just so everybody knows, Rice is a total flyer right here. I'm just grabbing a guy that's part of the Kansas City offense just in case.
Right. And that's exactly what I did with Sky Moore, but I have a little more faith in Sky Moore.
Yeah.
Shit. I was looking at Daniel Jones to take next, but he just went to kind of like solidify my backup quarterback position in case Jalen Hurts got hurt. But I'm not worried about it now. Because
just fade on it now.
So I got a little room here. And I'm going to take Tyler Algier. They're going to run the ball a lot in Atlanta, so take some of it. And then we got Jets, Mooney, Goff, Wilson. We got 3 more picks. One's got to be kicker. One's got to be defense. So, sure. You know what? I'm just going to jump in and give me Pittsburgh defense now. Don't really care about anybody else. And then it went Ravens, Singletary, Bryce Young, Greg Dulcich, and back to you.
All right, back to me. We did fade on running back, so I'm going to take a flyer right here and grab me some Zeke and hope that he still plays with the Cowboys.
Jake Elliott, Sam Laporta, Brandon McManus, Jonathan Migno, Condre Miller, Tank Bigsby, Rondell Moore, Zay Jones. You got 2 picks left, kicker and D.
We're going to go with the sneaky good New England Patriots D.
We got that Young Ho Koo, Miami defense, Jacoby Myers, Raheem Mostert. So I'm either going to get a backup tight end or a backup quarterback here. Dawson Knox. Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Probably start him over Kyle Pitts if Kyle Pitts plays like he did. And then for the last pick here, what do I need? A kicker.
Yep.
I will pick Matt Gay.
No, that's my kicker right there.
I always like Matt Gay. He always Jason
Yeah,
Sanders.
This is a good dude.
Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt getting drafted in the 15th round. I like Jalen.
Let's go. I'm gonna take me some Graham Gano here. Maybe he's still got a leg. Maybe he can put a 60-yarder through for me.
All right, and then we're at the end of the draft. Kyler Murray and Derek Carr finished it off. So Dave, I forced you not to take a running back until the 5th round. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm not super excited about that, if we're gonna be honest.
But I don't think your team ended up that bad. So let's hear your team.
I don't think it ended up that bad either. We went Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, George Kittle, Alexander Madison, James Cook, Javonte Williams, Odell Beckham, Anthony Richardson, Geno Smith, Deontay Foreman, Rice Elliott, Pats D, and Gano.
So looking at our teams, I think I like your team better, but I think our teams are kind of both the same. Because I got Christian McCaffrey, Tony Pollard, Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Kyle Pitts. I went till the 6th round till I got a receiver. But my receivers could tear it up. Mike Evans, Mike Thomas, Brandon Cooks, Gabe Davis. I mean, those guys, they're all boom and bust. So if they somehow are all busting, I'm sucking. But if one booms and one busts, hey, that's kind of average.
So I think the biggest thing here is, like, if you look at I personally like your team better, and the reason is McCaffrey, Pollard, and Sanders, right? So you have clear-cut running backs and a clear-cut flex if you need them. Like, Mike Evans and Michael Thomas and Brandon Cooks, and like those not working out for you is way easier to adjust on the waiver wire than if Alexander Madison, James Cook, Javonte Williams, and Deontay Foreman don't work out for me.
Well, I'll tell you what I would have liked better, but I stuck to my guns. When I took Miles Sanders, but I made myself take another running back or a tight end there. Remember, I wasn't taking a receiver.
Yep.
If I would have taken like Amari Cooper, like I know I wasn't going receivers, but say I started off McCaffrey, Pollard, Hurts, and then took Cooper, I would feel way better than having Sanders as a 3rd running back. You know what I mean? So I kind of like hit it deep. And I think think about it like this. Miles Sanders is my 3rd running back. Your 3rd receiver is DeAndre Hopkins. Like you win that.
Right.
Right. And sure, that has a lot to do with I took Jalen Hurts in the 3rd round instead of, say, Najee or Breece Hall or Ken Walker, but I don't feel like it's that big of a drop off. So like Christian McCaffrey, Tony Pollard, Miles Sanders, Elijah Mitchell, Tyler Algier. I mean, all those guys, I think Algier's going to get some points. And I think I did a good job with with the receivers of like, y'all are boomer bust, and Mike Thomas could be okay, and then you other guys, like, let's fucking go.
Right. Yeah. And I think one of the biggest takeaways here is just kind of look how this panned out, and look at the wide receivers that we're getting in the 3rd and 4th round. I mean, in the 3rd and 4th round, we're getting Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, Olave, Hopkins, Samuel, Ridley, Allen, Higgins, McLaurin, Cooper. Like, those are great values right there. But like, look at the running back. Look at how hard the running backs fall off in the 3rd and 4th round. We're Gibbs, ATN. I actually like ATN, but then we're going Breece Hall, who we don't know about. Najee Harris, we don't know about. The Miles Sanders, which I actually do like Miles Sanders, but like, I don't know. Joe Mixon, like Aaron Jones, like Kenneth Walker, like, I don't know. I just feel like the value of wide receiver in round 3 and 4 is so much better than the value of running back in 3 and 4.
I feel that in any round almost. Like I feel the running backs when you take them early, like even if you go into round is a 6. In round 6 here, people are grabbing Christian Watson, Michael Pittman, Mike Williams, and they're grabbing Cam Akers and James Conner and James Cook and Isaiah Pacheco.
Right.
You know, so like I feel like the receivers, when I got Gabe Davis here in round 9, Jahan Dotson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Gabe Davis. People are drafting Jamal Williams and Zach Charbonnet.
Right. The
So-
the running back drop off is a fucking cliff. Like
Where is it?
where is the drop off for me? I would say if you're not leaving the first 2 rounds with a running back and you're not leaving the first 4 rounds with both your running backs, I feel like you're in serious trouble.
Yeah, I feel it's like right in this area here. Miles Sanders, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones.
Yeah, that's where my fall off is. And like
Yeah.
my top tier guys end in round 2. So if you're not taking a running back in the first 1 or 2 rounds and you don't take your second running back by round 4, like I'm nervous about the team.
But you proved with your team, you started with 3 like elite option of receivers. You got 3 of your top 12 receivers.
Yes, and I do love the wide receiver value, but what I'm banking on now is I really need one of these plays to work out. Like I need James Cook to be better than advertised. Like I need Javonte Williams to be totally fine coming back from the injury. Like I need Deonta Foreman to win that starting job. You know what I mean?
So it's
Whereas,
easy.
like
You're begging for that, or me over here, I'm begging that these 47-year-old wide receivers and Gabe Davis take a step and do something. So,
yes, and I mean I do think we're flipping a coin here, and I do think you have the slight edge only because I feel like the wide receiver position is way easier to fix on the waiver wire and through trades than the running back position is.
very true, but this was a fun exercise, was it not?
This was a great exercise. I did not. I would have never drafted 3 wide receivers in my entire life.
And this is what I do for these mock drafts. We do it like I force me, like I would not go no receiver to the 6th round, like ever. Like I would never do that.
That's crazy. That draft was crazy. That was a lot of fun, and it
fun to-
solidified in my brain that I do not want to ever go wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver.
And it, it's fun. So everybody at home, do your mock drafts. You saw it on our sleeper app there. It's really fun. It's easy. It's quick. But you're also drafting kind of against ADP. I'm sure whatever you use, most of us use the Yahoo app. There's mock drafts in there, and you're up against other people, and they take a long time, but it's fun. Or throw some scratch on it and do a best ball.
Do a best ball. You can do it for like $3.
Yeah. And then, whatever, you spent $3, you open up your app in like January and you won $60.
Yep.
And you don't even know. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you coming in and, got the whole squad on the DL here, but we're here. Oh,
Appreciate it.
say hi. Come on.
Appreciate it. Oh, finally an appearance.
Come on.
Oh, let's go.
There she is.
Yeah, you got to keep the streak alive.
Yeah. Come on up. Come on. You're being weird. Okay. So
I was nervous.
there she is.
I was nervous the streak was going to die on my solo episode. I was like, oh no, I'm going to be responsible for this.
So yeah, I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. Go ahead and plug yo shit.
Yeah, guys, if you want to check me out on another podcast that I do with my buddy Adam called Let's Talk Nerdy, Let's Talk Nerdy podcast on all social media platforms and on YouTube. Yeah, check it out. Super appreciate it. And dude, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Yes.
She just knocked over my mic.
She's like, fuck you, and then runs away.
Gee, you are the star of the show, girl. We get she was just standing here and there's a fan blowing on me and there was so much cat fur flying around there. It would look like a winter wonderland. Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there. That needs to be a clip. Let's make that a clip.
That's maybe we will. All right. So song of the week. I went to a concert the other day. I saw some old school Pantera.
Let's go.
So we lost Dimebag almost 20 years ago now, but he was replaced by the legendary Zakk Wylde in concert, and to me, that's not a downgrade by any means. I'm a big Zakk Wylde guy. So, and Zakk Wylde was great and awesome, and the drummer Charlie Benante is the drummer of Anthrax. He's like a top 5 drummer for me. So I loved it. It was a good time. So we're gonna pay some homage to Dimebag. And we're going to play, I think, Dimebag's finest work as the song of the week. And the song of the week is going to be Pantera, Floods.
Let's go.
So we're going to enjoy some of that. And next week, Dave, if you're on, we're going to have our world-famous, most fun episode, the Nah Brah Manessy Crush, bro.
I'll be here. I already got my list. I already got my list in the works.
So I made it official since you're going to be here. That's a whole nother person. We're just cutting out tight ends. Fuck them. Nobody cares.
Okay.
Tight ends are gone. So we're gonna have our fantasy crush, nah, brah, sleepers on each position: quarterback, running back, wide receiver. So fuck tight ends because there's none.
Grab a top 5 or fade. Let's move on.
Yeah. So start doing your research. If you guys want to do it at home too, it's a fun episode. And then we will call each other out next January. I mean, we did our accountability episode, and my fantasy crush last year for quarterback was Trey Lance. So it didn't work out for me so well.
You didn't have to say that.
Didn't work out for me so well. But my fantasy crush running back was Saquon Barkley, and that was a home run. So
50% ain't bad.
you give who was it? I believe it was Alanis Morissette said, "You live, you learn."
What a great quote. Anytime you can work an Alanis Morissette quote into the podcast, that's some grade A shit.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Dave. Thank you everybody for checking it out. The Fantasy Crush episode is next week, and until then, we will see you next time. Peace.
Let's go.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.